Good evening, everyone. It's Chaz. Got Frankie with me, reviewing the West Ham Fulham game. Finished West Ham United 3, Fulham 1. Frankie, you were there, mate. How are you feeling coming back? Third win in a row, two wins in a row in the league, mate.
Yeah, I mean, the results are where we needed them to be, mate. The results are exactly what we needed to turn around a bit of a dodgy start. So over the moon with the last three games in terms of results.
Yep, let's see what's happening in the chat. I've got a few people who are quite happy today. Hammerhead, yep. Hope you're doing well, mate. Bringing love and joy to you. We have Lawrence from the US in Kentucky. Hi, Lawrence. How you doing, mate? Thank you for joining in. Bit of banter going on in the chat. Hello, Aaron. How you doing, mate? You all right? Good lad, good lad. So basically, yeah, 3 wins in a row. Wolves, Anderlecht, and this one. I don't think you went to the Anderlecht game, did you?
No, I didn't, mate. No, I swerved that.
That's the end of that, mate. But for me, yeah, I was really happy today after a long time. I'm just 4 goals. Yeah, I know what you mean. Sometimes the score maybe doesn't reflect the true thing. I called it team in transition, building a new team, new players, or getting to know each other. And with transition, yeah, it's not nowhere near perfect. You've got lots of things to work on still, but we got over the line. We seem to be creating 1 or 2 things, but the big thing for me, we've got Skamaka up front, who seems to be on the end of most things. If not 1 or 2 don't go in, and for me that's kind of, it's fine, he'll get there, but he's not afraid to stay up there and time his runs perfectly, creating a bit of chemistry with Paqueta. And for me, I'm seeing a few good things out there, mate. Yeah, I don't know how you felt. I mean, for you, was it a game of 2 halves, but perhaps different first half, different second half?
The most boringest game that I could ever imagine of going to watch, mate. It was just dull from start to finish. You know, I know 3 goals. It sounds exciting. Fulham come over there, mate, and took the mick for the first 45 minutes, really, singing constant songs about we're not West Ham anymore and who are we and blah blah blah, and really giving it a dig at us. And our crowd was silent, mate. You could have heard a pin drop. I took the dustbin lids over there today, so I haven't been drinking. I had 2 little ones with me, both 4 years of age.
Wow.
We went into the Londoner lounge, and because it was one of the kids' first ever games.
Oh yeah,
so when it's their first ever game, get them out of the hustle and bustle of it all, go in the lounge, just break them in gently, kind of thing. So we did that, and his dad isn't a West Ham fan. His dad was a West Ham fan, but he isn't a West Ham fan. We'll convert him very, very quickly, mate. But you know, he's a neutral at the end of the day. And after that first 45 minutes, mate, even he turned around to me and went, "How slow was that first half?" He was bored out of bored, just totally and utterly bored. It was a real poor first half. Really struggled to get into the game. We had that sort of a couple of chances with Skamaka where he had a couple of headers, should have put them away really, but didn't. And in the end, mate, we got a really weird penalty, which was a strange one. Why the bloke kept doing it while the referee was watching him like a hawk, I don't really know. You know, he puts his hands on Dawson. Dawson does brilliant. Dawson gets us back in this game because he played it perfect. Dawson, absolutely fantastic. And in all honesty, he was one of the ones who did have a brilliant game today. But other than that, mate, if that don't happen, you know, it's another first half where we didn't. Like I say, other than that Skamaka header chance, we didn't really look like scoring, mate. And it was just flat, you know, no lack of energy, lack of forward passing, mate. The amount of times I sat there today screaming at people to play a quick forward pass or even a sideways pass, and they get the ball and they look up and it's look around and it's so lethargic. And just play the ball. Come on, move the ball a bit quicker. You know, they were moving the ball really fast down their left, our right, Kerrer was getting absolutely torn apart time and time and time again. Everything they did, they just chucked it down that right-hand side. If Kerrer got close, he got roasted.
Yeah.
If Kerrer didn't get there, which sometimes he weren't even anywhere near the play, the ball was just beyond him. One thing that I did learn about that first half today, mate, is that Kerrer is no right back. He may be okay as a right wing back and is fine to play that role.
Yeah.
In the end, you're just screaming at David Moyes saying, can you just sort out? You can see it happening time and time again. Sort it out. Move someone else over there. Do something. Because we were just getting roasted down that side. And in the end, you just think they're going to get another one in a minute. Because every time they went down that side, they were breaking through on us. So, that's the reality. That's my frustration from today. But at the end of the day, mate, it's another 3 points. It's a 3-1 win. I still felt we was going to win the game today, even though I don't think we played particularly brilliantly, which is a good sign because at the end of the day, when you don't play well, you still get a win. That's a mark of a decent side. We've got some good players now, and Scamacca's looking great. Paqueta needs to calm down with the tricks. He done the trick on Thursday night, and everyone's gone crazy about it. That little ball that he brought down, and then today he's just trying. It was like a circus act today. It was like a Harlem Globetrotter, mate. He was walking around just trying flicks and tricks all the time. And you don't mind if you're 3-0 up and coasting. And then I don't mind a little bit of that. And we all want to see a bit of that because we want to be entertained. And I'm not saying I want to see everyone walk around boring and doing nothing. But there were just times today where I thought, mate, we're not playing brilliantly. You're trying these little twists and this pass that he done to Declan Rice, which he didn't have to do. He done this little spinny pass, whatever it was. Yeah. And then the next ball, he tries to put Rice in and completely overhits it and gives the ball away. And it was like, well, what's the point in doing your silly little trick when you've just given possession away, mate? Like, just play simple football until we're in the lead and until we're winning this football match clearly. And then if you want to have a bit of a mess around, then fair enough. But yeah, it was just a little bit frustrating in that first half, mate, I've got to say. We need to find that bit of zip about us again. And the one that I really put a lot of that down to again, mate, as well, is Fornals. He had another really poor game today. And, it's a shame that Cornet's got injured because we need Cornet on that left-hand side. Fornals has been poor all season and he had another really poor game today. But the thing that is the positive, mate, is that Scamacca. What a handful. What centre forward he is. He is just brilliant. Just everything about him. He's finishing, he's strength, he's holding the ball up, getting into play, getting us up the pitch, just everything about him, mate. He is a joy to watch. If there's one thing that, you did take away today and come away thinking, that was brilliant. He's your man, mate.
I think, Dean Ashton was interesting enough commentating on the channel I was watching on, and it looks like perhaps since Dean Ashton, he could be the best one since then in terms of a proper striker, good height, reasonable strength. He's really potentially got it all that you need, really. Yeah. And going back to your comment on Kerrer, I was calling Kerrer careless, and my comment here is got pace but no brain. So he's perhaps, like you said, reading the game, positional sense. Someone's going to have to coach that into him. Yeah. And again, if you can see him, getting burnt, getting done with a guy with that much pace, that doesn't look too clever, like you said. They scored very, very early. I don't know if you were seated in time for that goal, mate. It was very,
I was
very
there,
early.
mate. I was there. Yeah. And again, it was like I was saying, mate, Kerrer, nowhere to be seen, gets roasted down that side. And they was walking for us time and time again. They've gone through there. He's had a snapshot. Fabianski slow to react. Areola, does he save that? Maybe. While I was in the ground, I thought, has Fabianski done enough there? Looking back on it, it is a great shot and it's a great strike of the ball. Fabianski, I don't know. It's a tough one to call. It's tough. But from that angle, for me, your keeper shouldn't really be getting beat, really.
I think for your benefit, Michael Owen completely roasted Fabianski. He just said it's one he should have saved, but I believe he got his hands and feet all over the place, bit tangled up, not on the right side, and went straight through him. And the only thing for me was, like, as you know, Areola had a great game, didn't he, in midweek? Great world-class save.
Really good.
And I thought this will be a good time to, especially playing against his old team, put him in there, he'll be up for it, and perhaps go on a little run and cement his place. But obviously, That didn't happen. And then again, the next two windows, Frankie, it's the fullback positions that are, slightly concerning at the moment when you look at the
Maybe, mate, but
overall team.
Cresswell's had a
Yeah,
solid,
he's all right,
solid
isn't he?
game today. Cresswell's one that people dig out time and time again. He's finished. He's this. Should never wear a West Ham shirt again, mate. His block on the line today to save the goal. Mate, and someone, I'll tell you, I had a message from someone saying the three best goalkeepers on the pitch today, and one was their goalkeeper, second was Cresswell, and third was Fabianski, because Cresswell was like a goalkeeper today, mate. He stopped everything.
Yeah.
He was solid, and even just down to his general play, like there were balls that come at him out on the wide, and every time his touch was good. He never had a bad touch of the ball, cushioned the ball into Paqueta a few times. Cresswell had a really, really decent game today. In fact, he had a really good game today. Very, very happy with his performance, mate.
If I'm right, he didn't play in midweek, Cressy, did he? I don't think so. I thought Emerson played.
No, Emerson played out there, yeah.
Yeah, so maybe resting him, a little bit, kind of working.
Yeah, can help.
Him.
Can definitely help, mate. But that's the thing, isn't it? You've just mentioned the goalkeeper situation there. The goalkeepers don't need to be rested. Areola should start today. He's warranted starting today. Fabianski's form's been a little bit poor. Areola, brilliant on Thursday night. At some point, your highest paid squad player in terms of wages, which was Areola, needs to be able to force his way into first team contention in the Premier League. You have to. And on merit and on performances, he should have started today. Then after 4 minutes, Fabianski goes and lets that goal in from that angle. And you think, why is Areola not on the pitch? It's, it's all right saying, oh, you're going to be my keeper in this competition. You're going to be my keeper in this competition. I think that only really works if you've got a goalkeeper who is quite clearly second best, second string. But I don't think Areola is, mate. I think any big games now, he's the one who should be in the starting lineup for me.
And there seems to be a bit of chemistry between Paqueta and Scamacca. I think he assisted one of the goals, and the two chances he had in the first half, I think, Paqueta Bowen were trying to make things happen to him. And inside the ground, those two chances, again, looking at it from the benefit from the TV screen and listening to pundits, I think he should have put one of them away. They said they really should have scored Scamacca, one of those two chances he had.
Yeah.
The penalty, mate, we always believe that sometimes when we're hard done by, it kind of evens itself out. It's very close. It could have gone either way, mate. They kept watching, obviously, the handball and then the offside. And if they didn't give it, I would have lived with it without any argument. So it could have gone anywhere, Frankie. It's very close. And I would have understood if it had not been given. Maybe 51% it shouldn't have been given, but it was given. And Bowen's second penalty, mate, very, very good penalty, very confident. Picked a good corner, and the good way is when he's running to take it, you can't tell which way he's going, which is a great, great ability to have. And he puts it, nicely in the corner. Oh, if I was really greedy, really fussy, I'd like Scamacca to take it. But are you happy with Bowen going forward at the moment?
I'm happy with him taking it, mainly because, mate, I think today, again, I think Bowen started really slow. I don't think he was having I thought he'd looked for the past two games back to his best. I thought on Thursday night he looked good. I think against Wolves he looked good. He looked a handful. And then today he was right in front of me first half, literally where we were sitting on the halfway line. It was his side of the pitch. And he looked struggling. He didn't have that zip, that little bit of pace. He didn't have that little bit of... extra edge to get in behind their players, and he was struggling a little bit. So the penalty allowed him to grow in confidence, which is good. We need him to start getting goals again, mate. He's such an important player for us, and he's shown that in the past couple of games. So, not his best performance out there today, mate, I have to say. But, we've asked him to step up and put that penalty away at a critical time where we really, really needed it. And he's tucked it away nicely, mate. So, quite happy with him being on penalties for the foreseeable.
I think the way your kind of your remarks and comments and what I watched and that kind of thing, it is what I put down. It's a mid-table clash today, Frankie, isn't it? Mid-table clash. So with a mid-table clash, you're going to get a bit of, sometimes it's not fluid, sometimes they're finding their feet. It was that then, up and down, up and down, up and down. And we've come away from a bit of a scrap with a 3-1 win. Yeah.
I mean, I did make it very, very clear. And, I said at the end of the day, with these next two games, I don't really care how we get the results. We just need the results on the board. we're in trouble. We're in the relegation zone. Things are looking bleak. Really poor start to the season. Against Wolves, I said, I don't care if it's a scrappy 1-0. We just need to get back to winning ways. We did. More than a scrappy result, but Wolves were poor. Then I said, we don't learn very much from Wolves. Fulham will be a different kettle of fish, much different, more difficult game than what Wolves was. And it proved to be that way, especially for the first sort of half hour of the game. And in the end, we've got the job done fairly comfortably. So, at the end of the day, the two results, couldn't have asked for anything more. Got back to winning ways again, pushed up the table, got to mid-table, and that's all fine. But I have to call it how I see it. And today, the reality was job done, got the results, but we still need to see a lot more in terms of, we just need to see some better performances all round out there today. It was just slow again, mate. Just so lethargic, so slow. You won't get that away with that against the top half of the table sides, mate. We won't.
Well, again, what Dean Ashton picked up on mirrors what you said at the beginning, early first half, was why do West Ham at home sit back? Why are they sitting back? Why are they waiting for Fulham to come onto them? And that makes the players' jobs a lot harder. And that kind of thing. So he picked up on that as well. We look
scared to press. We look petrified. We look so scared to press the play because any time we did, Fulham was in behind straight away. Any time that Kerr wanted to sort of try and push up the pitch, their left winger was in behind us. Declan Rice, as soon as he steps out of that midfield, they're playing through the middle. Some of the time, mate, they had it all their own way. You're just saying, just push on them, just try and squeeze them a bit, try and win the ball back. They were so comfortable. We weren't putting any pressure on them at all, weren't getting in their faces, really sitting deep. And at home, you just want to see a bit more than that. It's just, but, we know we've struggled of late. We know we needed to stop the rot. We needed to just get results. And this is the way that David Moyes has gone about getting them. And that's fine. And I'm okay with that. But it's another one of them stories, what we were saying before. When these results go for you, everything's great. When they go against you, if you go and lose that game today, it would look terrible because we would have all been here screaming, saying no intent, no pressure, all sitting off of them at home. Why are we sitting off Fulham at home? It would have looked awful. And like you said, the Dawson penalty gets you back in the game. Iffy, could have gone either way, like you said. The handball for Skamaka's goal, I think everyone in the ground thought it was handball. Nobody really cheered. Everyone was a bit like something didn't quite look quite right there. So, we've got two things go our way today. Too often, West Ham fans I see on social media and that we all say about the ones that go against us. We've had plenty go for us of late too, mate. And at the end of the day, we've had a little bit of the rub of the green today, and we probably deserve it because things go against us just as much as they go for us. So, but no. Like I say, I'm not sitting here all doom and gloom. I'm happy with the results. We've got the 3 points. We've turned a corner, and that's brilliant. It's exactly what we needed. I'm just saying, Fulham at home, we look scared to play proper football. We look scared to express ourselves and to go and attack teams. And I have to say, I do agree with it because anytime we do try and attack and anytime we do try and get forward a bit, we seem to leave ourselves open. So maybe we do have to just settle for this rigid kind of, stick to your positions kind of sit off football at the moment because, like you say, we are in transition. We're getting used to playing with each other. Maybe that's the way we need to play for a little while.
I don't know if you want to answer this. For me, Souček, again, I thought he was okay. Didn't do too much. I mean, I didn't see too much of him. He did chase back for one block. I just remember. That's all I remember.
For me, the game passed him by today, mate. He has games like this where the game just sort of passed him by, and there were a few times where I was expecting him to try and affect the play, and he just didn't. He just had one of his off games where he just didn't seem to affect anything, didn't really get stuck in, didn't really get into the opposition box, didn't really pop up with many chances. He had an odd one at the back post there where he sort of tried to get on it after a bit of a bounding around and a bit of a pinball in the box, and it sort of come to his head, and he sort of tried to get on it and didn't quite make it happen. Just another very poor, sort of performance from him. Really, just expect a little bit more from him, mate. So
a lot of people want Downs in now after midweek. They wanted this as a kind of fixture. They wanted him in.
I have to say, Downs looked very, very good midweek. I think he's looking like everything we need in the midfield, a bundle of energy, someone who chased absolutely everything down, can then pass the ball once he wins possession. I have to agree that I think if he carries on the way he is, I don't think Moyes thinks he's quite ready yet. I think Moyes is never brave enough to start a player like that in the Premier League when they're sort of, it takes him a long time to build his confidence in a player. But if Downs keeps playing like he does, like that in Europa League Conference League competition, mate, then I think we'll see him come into the team sooner or later, because he looked good to me.
Yeah, Andy again confirming. Yeah, a lot of similar back in that comment. Skamaka's handful. Fornell's not so good. And even going back to Frankie, I think if Cornet had played, he definitely tries to make things happen. I know sometimes he loses the ball, but he certainly goes at them with his pace. And he's a handful. He invites the tackle, the fouls, and that kind of thing. Gets regularly smashed up. That's why he's out at the moment. But yeah, Cornet is certainly exciting. John, how you doing, mate? Okay, so John thinks a bit of Zuma's involvement in the first goal. Yeah, interesting, mate. Yeah, interesting. Yeah, a bit of chemistry there, isn't it?
Just in a comment for Peter, and you're spot on, mate. That's true. That wasn't my bag. That's the Bubbles the Bear West Ham bag, which is my youngsters. So, but you should have said hello, mate. It would have been a pleasure to meet you.
Yeah, it's just about bedding in players at the right time. And like I said with Downs, I wouldn't want to throw him in against the top 4, top 5. This is the kind of fixture with respect to Fulham. You could give him some time on the pitch, it'd be good for him on the back of that. And I don't know what David's thinking, but there we go. Gary, how you doing, mate? Yeah, good penalty, wasn't it? Yeah, Fulham, I mean, Mitrovic, I felt last 2 days ago, the way the news was coming through Fulham, they were going to squeeze him in, force him in there, but he wasn't even on the bench.
I don't see him finishing top 10, mate, I have to say.
No,
they are not good enough to finish in the top 10.
No. Yeah, it is what it is, mate. I don't know if it's a transition and we're trying to maybe, I don't know. I don't know what we're trying to do. I don't know what we're tactically trying to do. We see pockets of it in Paqueta here and there, but it's not smooth at the moment, and we don't have a clear plan on how we're playing. I don't know what we're trying to do on the pitch. What are we trying to do? I don't know. Trying to play a bit better football, and it's all getting confused, the message. I don't know.
I think it's really clear what their roles are, mate. They're told to be rigid. They're told not to press. That there's a very clear communication not to press teams. We have, a rigid sort of formation. We don't want players stepping out of position, because when they do, we seem to get unravelled quite quickly. So yeah, I mean, we must be getting used to a system with new players, and you need to know you can rely on other players as well. That if you step out of position and you go forward, you've got to know someone's covering you. And you saw that a little bit today. There was a few times where Rice sort of bombed forward and people had to cover. There was a time where Kerrer had gone, like he was missing, and then other players had to fill in and fill in really quickly. And there was a bit of communication going on. Who's supposed to get into the middle now? Who's going to go over and cover where Kerrer should have been. So I think they're just getting used to, playing a different way, mate. And I do understand that does take time. If we can get results while we're going through this transition period, then, happy days.
Yeah, Richard, going back to the penalty, mate, it looks like it just fell on his thigh, because the ball changes direction, and then they kept thinking, and it could be true that the hand was partially why the ball seems to change direction, but it could be that it fell on his thigh, mate. So it went on and on and on. I mean, how long was the wait in the ground for you guys? Ages, wasn't it? Like, what was going on?
Forever, mate, forever. There's no question that as the ball's on the way down, not the popping up bit where it hits his elbow, but when the ball's on the way down, it definitely brushes his hand. There's no question about that. I think if you didn't know the outcome of that clip and you showed 100 West Ham fans if that goal was going to be allowed or disallowed, I think 100% of them would have said, there's no way that goal gets given for West Ham. No way. Yeah. So I do think we've had a squeeze there because of what normally goes against us. So
it does. I mean, Gary, I hope you're doing all right. You are right on paper. When you look at Skamaka, Paqueta, Cornet, Bowen, very, very good players that any other team would be happy to get, mate. So once Cornet's back in, then no excuses, really. Well, that's what we used to do under Moyes when he first came in. Always go goal down and come back, didn't we?
Yeah,
But you
yeah,
don't
we
want
did
to.
it a lot. We did it a lot.
Don't want to make a habit of that, really.
No.
Did you grab any food in the lounge, mate, or not?
I
Or
did, mate.
yeah,
They
yeah.
had Tony's pie and mash today, and it was very, very good. There was like an external caterer, so you had
Oh,
to pay them separately as to paying the stadium. You had to pay the company themselves, Tony's. And actually, mate, it was really, really tasty. I really enjoyed that pie and mash before the game. So yeah, it was good, and it felt good
oh.
not giving it to
Yeah, yeah.
the other mob and all. So it was all right. I didn't have to feel guilty eating it.
Oh, it's been ages since I had that. Oh, damn. John was on the show earlier on today, and John is adamant he wants Antonio with Scamacca up front, and I can't see it, mate, how you do that.
No.
Because Antonio will only play with Scamacca if Bowen isn't playing on that right side, I think. Antonio coming on, mate. All right, he got the goal, but he was just all over the place, mate, for me. I don't know. Antonio's Antonio, isn't he? I mean, sometimes it'll run for him, sometimes it doesn't. Well, I mean, I don't know what to make of his performance. I don't know. He scored a goal that looked pretty easy to finish for me.
Mate, that I ain't going to knock Antonio because he comes on and gets a goal. But that first shot, he's 1-on-1 with the keeper.
Yeah.
Side foots it directly at the goalkeeper. And it was just like, what are you doing? And I know in the end they make a meal of it and he persists with it and ends up getting his goal. But I did sit there and think, oh, if Scamacca's there in that position, it's a goal first time he shoots. This is just finished. And Antonio manages to p-roll it into the goalkeeper. It was just like, oh.
Maybe he's peaked for us. I think he'll stick around maybe 1 or 2 seasons on the bench. I think that's it from him, really. A lot of people are saying he doesn't look happy being out the team. I mean, what do you expect with those stats? He's just got to bide his time. When he scored, he did that silly little jig, started dancing with Kara and Zuma and that kind of thing. So I don't know. Going back to Flynn Downs, yeah, I like it. He's a traditional CDM. Yeah, he's in your face. He's a bit like the old CDMs that we used to get, like David Batty and Martin Allen and 1 or 2 others. The only thing he's going to have to be careful, Frankie, as he gets a regular slot, is maybe too many yellow cards. Maybe sometimes, maybe for him, I'm not sure.
But mate, at the end of the day, if he's a player who's coming in and out a little bit, and you've got Souček there as another option, let him go and get him, mate. Let him express himself. Let him put his foot in. I think we lack some of that sometimes. That little bit of bite. Do you know what I mean? I think sometimes we're all a bit too nicey, too soft. I want to see a bit of that old John Moncur spirit, mate, who goes in and puts in a crunching one and G's up the team a little bit. So yeah,
I had Paqueta. I've got Paqueta and Scamacca in my fantasy football, so that was a nice little 1-2 for them. Andy again believes it would have been 3-0 if Areola was in goal. Hammerhead is happy. Kentucky Fried Chicken, my man. So at a half time, how's the feeling around the ground? How did you feel? What did you think?
I think everyone just felt it was a bit flat. I think, you know, the penalty definitely helped to G everyone up a little bit again. But mate, it honestly, it was so silent in that first sort of half an hour. It was just, you know, Fulham were just taking the mick. Everyone was completely silent and everyone was just a bit, I don't know, lethargic, a bit disillusioned with what they were seeing on the pitch. And frustration was starting to set in and people were starting to sort of scream and want to see a bit more energy and a bit more intent and just a bit more, just move the ball a bit more quickly, mate. It was just all a little bit slow and a little bit sluggish. And I think everyone was just falling asleep, to be honest with you. And then the penalty gets us back into it. And, you know, then we start on a positive note in the second half. And I think everyone just wanted us to come out and be a reinvigorated team after a Moyes team talk and, you know, maybe just you know, putting his opinion on a few things and hope we'd come out with a bit more, I don't know, just a bit more energy. And did we? I don't know. You know.
I mean, interesting point, Lawrence, but when you look at the goal from Scamacca, then you got to say, what a finish. So, yeah, he kind of dinked it over the goalkeeper and yeah, he'll get there, mate. He'll get there as long as he keeps, because you know, Frankie, he's got the anticipation and he knows before the ball's going to go there and grab it. And more often than not, yeah, he'll get a lot of goals for us. Lawrence is keeping us up to date with some goals. Is that 2-1 Everton, is it? Interesting.
No, I think that was the first goal he was mentioning there. I think we're a little bit behind.
Oh my God, let me start from the back again. You know what I'm like? Bloody hell. Hammerhead Andy. 4-0, eh? We'll see, mate. I think the only difference from today, I suppose Cornet, Areola, Downs, those three could threaten the 11 today. And then obviously the World Cup's coming around, mate. I saw a program. Gary Neville went to Qatar, didn't he, to check everything out? Very interesting program. Stadiums, yeah, very, very good. You can only drink in the fan tents, I think, outside the ground at a designated area.
Mm-hmm.
Can't drink inside the ground, and you can't certainly drink anywhere else. You might get a few drinks in a 5-star hotel, but I don't know what the prices will be. And then they're encouraging people to go on these safari things that are 1 hour away from any ground. I don't know what's going on. Do you know anyone going out there?
No, mate, I don't.
Well, apparently they reckon the tickets are all gone.
Mm.
What did you think of the way Fulham were trying to play? Do you like Silva, the way they play and that kind of thing? Do you like
I think they looked dangerous. They had a plan for us. You could tell they had a plan for us in that first half an hour, but they sort of faded away, mate, to be honest. They had that sort of half-hour spell and was looking very lively. And then I grew in confidence after that. I didn't fancy them to do much in the second half, and it sort of proved that way. So, mate, they're missing their big player today, aren't they? Do you know what I mean? If you're missing your number one striker, it's always going to be tough. So, you have to give them a bit of a squeeze for that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, they seem to play decent enough for the first half an hour.
Anyone you like on the Fulham team today? Anyone?
Both boys, really?
Right? No, yeah.
No.
I didn't really think anyone out there. Daniela, hope you're well. 3-3. Yeah, I think we got Southampton. We got Liverpool. What's the other one we got? That's a winnable one as well, the other one. Let me have a look. Yeah, we've got Southampton, Liverpool. And then we've obviously got Anderlecht at home as well. And Bournemouth is the other one, home to Bournemouth. So some people think 7 out of 9. I don't know. I'm looking at 6. I'm getting greedy now. I don't know. Southampton away. But we'll see. Lawrence. Yeah, I know Fulham, obviously good start, but it's a very small squad, I think, and we'll see what happens. Dave, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, I think that's a really good summary, mate, to be honest. I think we haven't matched last year's work rate yet, but I do think that's because Moyes is telling them not to press and not to step out of position, which makes them very rigid and sort of stay where they are and not press forward. So they can't use the energy like they were last year. So I don't know, but you're right. It's just, but sometimes it's momentum, isn't it, in football? Do you know what I mean? When you're on the front foot, it's easier to sort of have that energy. When you're sort of trying to sit off teams and you're not seeing much of the ball and you're letting them have possession, it's quite hard then when the ball comes to you to be that, half a yard in front of somebody else. So we're definitely sort of not quite on it like we were at our best last season. It definitely needs to speed up in terms of distribution of play as well. Rice has got to improve at when he gets the ball, knowing where a player is and moving the ball quickly. Get the ball moving forward. By the time we move the ball forward, mate, they're all back in their formation and behind the ball. And we've got to start catching some teams out. We were good at that last season, hitting teams on the break, hitting teams on the counter, getting Bowen down the side and freeing him up. And we're not doing it at the moment. It's all very, very slow. And we definitely need to do that. And he's right with the second balls. We're not getting there. So that's a really good summary, really. I totally agree with that.
4-2-3-1. What are you saying? So you want... Okay, so you want to... Yeah, but do you want to kick Bowen out then? Because Antonio, I don't think he can play on the left wing. You got Cornet or Fornells that side. And then you got...
I think he wants Antonio in behind Scamacca as a sort of... I don't know.
Where does Paqueta play then?
Well, yeah.
Don't know. Anderlecht looks like we need 1 point to hopefully go through and win the group. I think we've got a good lead in that.
Yeah, it's job done, I think, isn't it?
Just wanted your comments on Ben Rama's performance in the last game.
Poor, really poor.
Yeah.
You know, he's so many people say there's an agenda against him. So many people say these things. He has been or was, but this is the problem, isn't it? He had his spell. Who do you blame here? I don't know. He had his spell where he looked like he was the best player for us in terms of trying to create things and make things happen. He was the most positive player in the first few games. Moyes then decides to drop him, harshly, probably. Then doesn't feature, then goes off the ball, then gets another opportunity, wastes his opportunity on Thursday night, and there's no way you could put him in the side today. So a little bit of bad handling from Moyes' side, maybe. But Moyes would be sitting there telling you, when I've given him the opportunity in the end, he hasn't delivered, and he didn't look good enough on Thursday night to me. So, yeah, it's a tough one to call, mate. But I don't think he had a very good game at all.
No, it's just one chance after the other, and then all over the place, mate. And then he wasn't going to start the next game. Mandy, how you doing? You all right? Well, got no corner, and then if you don't play Fornals in that left wing, then who else is going to go in that slot? You're going to stick
we
Emerson
don't have
in
no
there?
cover there, do we? Emerson probably is the better shout, to be honest, because Fornals, I think Mandy's spot on. Fornals can't play there, mate. He has such poor games there. That ball he tried to hit across the field, mate, was just an embarrassment. Yeah, Fornals had that shot he tried from the halfway line on Thursday night, which he completely scuffed. And then he's tried to hit a 40, 50-yard pass today and completely miss it. I'm just sitting there with my hands in the head, just going, oh.
Danielle, I hope you're doing good. Still getting used to 2 games a week, and it's now 9 games. We've been in Europe. Been in Europe last season, haven't we? We're okay with it. We know what it's all about. And I know Arsenal. They didn't really have any Europe, did they? Last season, actually, they did. They did have that Europa. Were they in Europa or conference? Arsenal? Can't remember now. But it is a challenge when you're in Europe. Sometimes, you got to manage it quite well. Eastside is back in Eastside. Oh, you doing all right? Yeah, he's a Moisey out, mate. I can't say that anymore, can I? 3 wins in a row, but listen, it's 2 wins in the league. We're out the bottom 3, but it's a mixed message on the pitch in terms of what we're trying to do. I think are the players confused as well? I'm not quite sure where we're going with this. What we're doing. I mean, we're certainly buying players that can play better football, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, I'm all right, Lee. How you doing? You all right? Good. Thanks for joining in, mate. Yeah, I think resting a few players gives them a kick up the backside, doesn't it? Rejuvenates them. World Cup, Bowen, I think that boat's gone, isn't it? Frankie, I'm not sure he's going to get in an England squad, is he, Bowen?
No, it's gone, mate. And unless he has some unbelievable next few games for us and starts to, get a goal a game and really start to affect things, I don't think so.
I think with Moyes, what we're saying sometimes is when someone's out of form like Souček, he keeps playing them every week for Fornals.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, Ben Rama had those 1 or 2 good games and he didn't start the other one. Downs had a good game. Areola had a good game. Then they're not anywhere near this team. So I don't know. I don't know how you manage players like that.
No.
Because I thought Downs would have had that little bit of edge to him, really. And we'd like to see a bit more of him and Rice together in the middle. See what they got. The thing is, Downs has got to improve his shooting boots, and he cut the shots bloody gone all over the pitch, mate.
Yeah, they did. Yeah. See, I've got to disagree with that. I thought Fornals was terrible again today. And I've said on here a few times that there's his biggest fan on one of the other channels. I messaged him again today about Fornals.
Mandy agrees, I think.
He says he's been absolutely terrible. And that's Fornals' biggest fan. He's been so poor. And he was really poor again today. So I'm glad Mandy's backing me up there because I thought he was awful.
The irony, he's making me swear in Indian language. Yeah, I think Frankie knows what that means.
I knew the word.
Oh, naughty, naughty, giving away the ball. Oh my God, you lot definitely don't like David Moyes. Areola, Emerson. Yeah, Emerson looked all right when he came on, didn't he? He looked all right. Okay.
Yeah, I thought he looks like he can play the ball, mate. I really do. So.
Yeah. But at the end, what was the feeling like when we'd won? Like the kids all happy, saw 4 goals
mate.
and all that. Yeah,
all very, very happy, all positive coming out of there, and really good to get another win under the belt. And in the end, comfortable result, and all very happy, mate. And mate, I never want West Ham to lose. I never want, I never want to be doom and gloom. But I have to tell it how I see it. And it wasn't just me saying It was brilliant to have a neutral there who wasn't anything to do with West Ham. Has got no agenda and just sat there and said how slow and how boring is that football. And it is slow and boring. That's the reality of it. But like we said, points on the board, we move. And hopefully, as we start to, Skamaka starts to bed in, and as we start to get used to playing with each other, hopefully the better football comes along. So we'll see.
What team does that person support out of interest?
Liverpool.
Oh, bloody hell, can't match that.
I was keeping that one quiet, but
can't match what he perhaps watches.
Well, I say that he's a Liverpool fan, but he actually goes and watches Crystal Palace down here because he lives near Crystal Palace. So he goes and watches Crystal Palace regularly. So
they won today, I think. Yeah, they won today.
See, Hammerheads thinks he's and this is the thing. I don't get it. I thought Fornals was poor. Okay. I thought he gives the ball away again. And like I said, Fornals, is Gio on the other channel. I know, whatever. Gio loves Fornals. Just absolutely adores him. And even he said, awful. So, we've all got our own opinions and we all see it differently. But for me, I thought
I had Ryan mention me on one of the channels. I mean, I mean, Ryan sends me messages anyway. Oh, he's all right with me, and he's like, "Jazz, one subscribers." I'm like, "It's all right, mate. I'm not really."
It'd be interesting to see though if they actually admit that in their videos, or whether they sugarcoat it a little bit. See, we tell it how it is, which is a little bit different to some.
No, someone said they called me out last week, but I had a few messages from him a while back anyway, so I kind of know where I stand and all that.
Yeah, I don't feel like we lost today. I enjoyed it. We got a result. That's fine. My boy enjoyed it. He was cheering. He saw we was right in front of Bowen's penalty. Bowen's his best player. He loved it. And we come back and we watch the highlights and it's all good. But I have to be honest with the performance. And if you were there and you were sitting there watching that and you was in silence for the first half an hour, which the whole stadium was in total silence, it wasn't that exciting, mate. And it's as simple as that.
Yeah, Man United have just scored, if anyone cares. Mandy wants to see Fornals in the middle, next to Rice.
The problem with him there is he doesn't make enough tackles. If you look at his tackling stats, he just doesn't make enough tackles to warrant playing in the centre of the park. So this whole he tracks back and helps out the defence thing is a myth. He does run. And when he plays on those wide sides, he does make an effort to get back, but he doesn't actually win the ball. So that's why he'd be no good in the middle of the park.
Fornals, you can tell he's a good lad. He tries and, it doesn't come off for him. Good squad player, perhaps.
I didn't even see that comment, but it's the same scenario there. Yes, he runs, but running can only take you so far. He doesn't actually affect the play enough. So it's what I like Fornals when he has that creativity. I think he can pick a good pass. I think he's really good at, getting players forward, playing a forward pass, seeing a pass. I think he's quite good at that. But we don't see enough of that when he's on the left wing and tracking back and covering defenders. So
Meadside views. Yes, my family are from there, my man. They are. Gary, let's be positive. A win is a win. Yeah, I'm okay, but I don't know where we're going, but I'm happy for now. I'm happy. 3 wins.
You've got to take it.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what the next games and months is going to bring, as with a lot of clubs. So let's see what happens. And we're enjoying the European run. We look, dare I say it, similar to Europa. We look one of the best in the tournament, don't we? Look like with the squad we've got. And like I said, you never know. This might be the season where we finish 12th and we win something. I don't know. Oh, Trini, he's analysing like you, Frankie. Many players are poor, not only Fornals. Yeah, so it looks like it's mixed feelings over Fornals, which way you see it. So
that's fine, isn't it?
Some people like him, some people not sure. Oh, okay. We'll see. Obviously, traditionally, our players at West Ham always have to do a bit more, don't they, to get in the England squad. Uncle Ronaldo scores. Good lad. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Where did Fornals play when we bought him? When he lit that under-21 tournament, didn't he? Spain.
He used to play more central, mate.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah. Well, David Moyes does like that, doesn't he? He likes he likes his teams to be fit and running around, but you need a bit more, as you get more successful. I mean, the running around's good when you're in the bottom 10, but now we're in that phase where we really want to go up a notch, and that's shown by the players coming in. If you tell Paqueta to run up and down, up and down, up and down, I don't think he's going to be too happy, Cornet. Any idea, Frankie, when he's back? I'm hearing next game. I'm hearing some things from some people, but obviously the club.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully.
There we go. Eastside Views is a big fan of yours. Signed photo of Frankie on the way to you in a goodie bag. You remember the old?
Had one here.
I love this. Look at this. This was a project at uni. This was. Look at this. Look at that gent there. Look at that.
Oh, wow.
That's a young Frankie. I'll sign that for you with a lovely
goodie bag,
lovely pen, and get that out to you, mate.
Do you remember like the old kids programs, goodie bags on the way to you with all these little Walkman and stickers and all that? Yeah.
I think I was about 19 there, I think, mate. Many moons ago now.
Brilliant. 700th league goal. Bloody hell. Man of the match. Difficult, eh? Is it difficult? Is it Scamacca? Is it? I don't know. Is it Paqueta?
Yeah, I think I'd have to give it to Scamacca, mate. I think he was really, really good. I was very, very impressed.
Yeah, for me, it's a team in transition, and when you're in transition, you're going to get a lot of bumps on the way. But I'm glad we've got some points under our belts and a few more smiles on fans and players' faces, and certainly the manager. I've got nothing personal against him, and I was really happy to see him when the goals went in, and I saw the celebrations for Moyes. You could tell that it was a crucial time for him. He really, really celebrated those goals like last week, so he's hopefully feeling a bit better about it. And I know it's a long way away, but I'm hoping we got our eyes everywhere, including the January window, and it'd be key how we manage Downs and Areola and see if there's any more youngsters coming through, see what's going to happen with Ashby. Is Dawson gone in January? Are we looking at that free centre-back? Lots of things still going on in the background. Then I heard something about the London Stadium, wasn't it, mate? Something to do with, was it the naming? They're going to give us
naming rights. Apparently we've rejected it because they want $4 million a year for it, and we think that's a liberty. So apparently we've said thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah, and I know, and in terms of owning the stadium, it will happen at some point, but I wouldn't connect the two in any way. I don't know if that happen. But apart from that, the lounge, you happy with the lounge, the setup, professional, getting in and out, and all that?
I mean, I think the staffing thing's always a bit of an issue. When we ordered food, it took forever for it to come, because where it's always agency staff, you never get the same faces who know how to run things smoothly. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's, and we had a beer poured at half time that was about that much head on it. It was quite ridiculous. So when you're in a nice setting like that, and it's one of the premium lounges, you expect. But mate, at the end of the day, I'm there for football. I'm rough. Other people would have been bothered by it. Me, I couldn't care less whether you serve me a terrible pint. I'd just go to football to enjoy the football. But took the boy in there today, first game, 4 years old. My boy loves it now and can't get enough of it. And we're trying to bring through the next generation of Hammers, mate. So needed to just. It's nice where they're not in the hustle and bustle, rowdiness, not too much noise. You're slightly separate from it. First ever game at 4 years old. It's quite a it's quite a gentle way to break them in. So
I think that's a brilliant way to do it. Yeah, because sometimes 63,000 fans, it can be daunting for small children. Lots of crowd and busy like that. Eastside Views is talking about Indian food, biryani, one of my favourite foods, mate. Love a biryani, which is a meat and rice cooked together at the same time.
Yeah,
anyone if you don't know,
I'll try.
You do. Zuma, incredible for you, mate. Zuma, is he still.
No, he did have a good game today. He had a very good game, solid game, done everything that was asked of him, mate. He had a very good game. Did Zuma. So yeah.
We don't do the ratings. We leave it to my man James. We don't do ratings. So
yeah,
we just waffle on, and you kind of get the idea what ratings we're giving. Man of the match, we're thinking Skamaka. Paqueta, still like a lot what I see from him. And yeah, so ratings, we don't do that at the moment. We might add it into one of the shows going forward, Mandy, but yeah, not for now. But you get the drift, you know what we're thinking with Fornals and Fabianski and Kera. You know, the players we haven't mentioned are the ones that probably did all right. I think players like Dawson, I think were all right. Skamaka was all right. Whoever we mentioned, Rice we haven't mentioned. So does that mean he just did?
He didn't have a good game, mate. He didn't have a good game. He didn't have a good game on his level. He had an okay game if we're talking an average game, but he didn't hit the Declan Rice levels that we know he can. So for me, picks of the bunch today: Cresswell very good, Zuma and Dawson very good, Skamaka very good. I think they're the picks for me.
Definitely. And the West Ham Anderlecht game is next. So you're going to go for that?
I will be there, my man. I will be there.
And in a way, it's not really a pressure game. I didn't think you can enjoy yourself before. You know, you're not really.
Do you remember Moyes? Do you remember him last year? He wanted to get all the points so we're guaranteed top, and then he could mess around with the team, didn't he? Do you remember that?
He didn't, though, did he?
No, that's what he wants. I think that's what he'll go for the same again. I think he'll think if we can get the win, we're guaranteed top spot, and then we can just roll out any teams we want for the last couple of games. So.
Well, we only won the last. Yeah, Rice came on, and that made a big difference. Paqueta, that kind of thing. They came on, didn't they? So really interesting views. That's why I love doing the live shows. It's like not everyone's on the same page. That's what it's all about, isn't it, mate? But yeah, thanks for coming on, Frankie.
Anytime, mate, anytime.
Yes, it's a good time. It's all right, mate. We're all right. We're all right. 3 wins, and let's see how like you said, let's have a look at the way we play. Hopefully, more entertainment, more slick, more pressing game. And like you said, because the new players have only been bedded in very recently, it is like pre-season. It is. It's just. It is what it is, mate. There's no real flow to it. And maybe even some of the commentators mentioned Paqueta didn't look quite fit for 90 minutes. He looked like he was easing off at the end. Perhaps that's a bit of that going on in there as well. So we'll see, mate. But have a great evening. Thank you for everyone. Look who turns up right at the end. Kent Hammers. Ken, what are you saying, Ken, before we go off? Lucas P. Yeah, that's what I heard, mate. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just transition time, isn't it, Kent? But really good. And I know you're one of the ones that are patient with David Moyes. So yeah, at the moment it's looking good, isn't it? So yeah, we'll see what happens. But it's transition period. Take care. Take care, everyone. Take care, Kent Hammers. Thank you for joining in. We're just about to go, but appreciate you joining in. Epic's turned up. You still, yeah, I know you are. And I think if Ryan had come in. I think Ryan's busy, but he was going to come on, and Ryan's passionately Moyes out. But yeah, have a great evening, Frankie, and thanks everyone for joining. We'll catch up next couple of days. Thank you.
See you later, mate.
Take care. Bye.